We'll get started. Hi, guys. My name's Sarah. Welcome to this first official Fireside chat and Q&A session. I was doing a lot of walkthroughs before, but I stopped getting requests for those after I posted a recording online. And we get a lot of requests for users who want to hear from our other users about how they use BigShort to trade and the kind of setups that they look for. So some of our most successful users have been nice enough to join us. I see Paul is here. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing good.
So Paul is a political nightmare on the Discord, and Zeta is in here with us. Damon Swain, thanks for joining. And I think Reese is on her way. But yeah, so basically this will just be structured as like a Q&A session. So for you guys who have questions about how to use the platform or how people, use our charts to trade. I know I've gone over how I use the charts to trade a ton during the walkthroughs. So this is your opportunity to ask other users and get your questions answered. So any questions to start off with?
I have a question for Political Nightmare. This is Woods. Um, so you send out about a bunch of stuff the other day, kind of going over the 1 day, 1 hour charts from previous days to look for setups for the following day. What exactly are you looking for when you're with using the Big Short to find your setups for like trades for the following day?
Well, so I'll give you a perfect example. I don't know.
Do you want to share your screen, Paul?
Yeah, I can. I don't know how fast my internet will be, but or how about do you want to? Can you share your screen, Sarah, and just go
Yeah.
to
Yeah, I can share my screen. You could just tell me where to go.
Okay. So I think this was 2 days ago. I posted this in the main chat, but I don't even know what this company is. It's like Brinker Systems. It's so every day. I've towards the last 30 minutes of the trading day, I go through all of my S&P 500 tickers on the daily chart to see if I see any huge NOFA activity, like massive, unusual call options or put options being bought or sold. And you can even scroll back like a couple of days ago. I posted something about the ticker is EAT. I don't even really know what they do. Brinker Security or something. Um, but so if you go to the daily on that,
Okay.
so that I pointed out that big put purchase 3 days ago, right? Yep, that guy right there. And sure enough, look what happens. So this is how I use Big Short. I really try to I don't have the time during the day to I like scalping. It's fun and it's exciting and there's a lot of money to be made in it. But with my job, I just don't have the kind of time to do that. So I'm trying to really focus on swing trading and longer term sorry guys, longer term plays. And this is the kind of things that I look for on the daily. So 3 days ago, I was scrolling through all of my tickers, and sure enough, I saw that on the daily. And of course, look what happens 2 days later. I think that was what, like $7 move or something like that. I don't know exactly, but
When did you enter, by the way?
71 down to 66.
yeah. So that's not bad. I mean, that's just one example of how I use Big Short, and it's very predictive on the daily chart. Um,
Can you hear me?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you enter? I mean, you saw the signal, you entered the same day. How?
So that one, yeah, you could enter same day. I mean, I don't anticipate it like that's you kind of got to watch the manipulation bars too. So they were kind of not very strong, just kind of moderate right there. So that was fine for me for an entry. But typically if you see things like that on the daily chart, a lot of times, and you have to back test this yourself, right? And back test and back test and back test. And what you'll find on the daily, usually these kinds of moves don't happen for it could be anywhere up to 2, 3 days to a week later, right? And I mean, I could go through several tickers and give you plenty of examples of this on the daily chart. So I think like what else is a good? Snow's a really good example. So SNOW. If you go to the daily chart here, so snow, I look for a lot of reversals, like as a swing trader. I love playing reversals, and snow has been downtrending for a long time, as you can see on the chart, right? And there was, you know, puts being, so the first half of that chart is puts being bought, puts being bought, puts being bought. And then finally they putter out, right? And now you see all these puts being sold, right? So now big money is cashing in here on all those puts, right? So that to me is signaling the end of this downturn at the beginning of a reversal. And sure enough, that's exactly what happens here. And then for days and days, rally, rally, rally. And then you can see puts being bought again, right? And so if you use technical indicators and you draw a Fibonacci on the last big move, you can see that right now it's almost down to like 61 or something. It's gonna go, I think it's gonna downtrend one more day, and then it might reverse back up again. But I'll keep my eye on it and see. So I actually played the uptrend on this, and I played the downtrend. So I just exited my puts on this today, which I bought yesterday. And so I still think it's going to go down maybe tomorrow, but I'll be looking for that bounce off of one of those Fibonacci levels back up into to an uptrend. So I'm going to be looking out for more put sales and more call buys on snow. And that's the daily on snow. And the same kind of deal with PayPal. If you want to look at PayPal real quick on the daily chart, this is a great example. So look at all these calls being bought right before that big rally, right? And so again, if you look at your technical indicators on whatever trading platform you're using, you'll see that right there on like, what was it, like May 18th, or the first couple days where those calls start getting bought, right? So if you go to your technical indicators on whatever trading platform you use, the RSI is completely exhausted. The KDJ completely about to turn back upwards, and what else, like the stochastic indicators like about to reverse too. So I see those. I'll go through at night on my whatever trading platform I'm using and scroll through tickers and see what I think is exhausted on technicals going up or going down. And sure enough, these were looked like on my trading platform primed for a reverse.
Oop, I think someone might need to mute.
Oh, I thought somebody was asking a question. So anyway, yeah. So the signal for me to jump into PayPal here was all these calls starting to be bought on those first 2 days. So that big move didn't even happen. So you have first 2 days of large call volume, right? Nothing much happened. But had you entered there and then just stuck with it, that was a really big swing upwards there.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing, Paul.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could go through whatever tickers you want, and I try to play the ones on the S&P 500 because there's not a lot of huge NOFA activity on small cap stocks, and sometimes, not always, but yeah, I mean, I have tons of these examples. If anybody wants, ever DMs me or something, I could go. There's a million charts that I've looked at that have very, very predictive NOFA activity on the daily, right?
Yeah, that's great. So do you normally just look at the daily chart, or do you ever look at the 5-minute?
I do look at the 5-minute. If I'm trying to scalp during the day, 5 minutes great for that. But like I made at the Meta at the end of today, I made some money on puts at the end of the day on Meta. I can't remember what happened exactly. There was something that happened. Maybe it was in the options side panel. I can't remember why I jumped in there, but I did jump at the end of the day.
Looks like there were some bearish call blocks.
It might have been that. What else? 5-minute. Yeah, I like the 5-minute, but again, I'm trying to, like, it's great for SPY and it's great for day trading. And if you want to do intraday trading, yeah, 5-minute chart's absolutely what you need to use. But again, I've found over the last month that I just, unfortunately, I don't have the time to really, I can't do my job and focus on scalping during the day anymore. So I really got to lean towards the swing trading, which is good, and that's good for BigShort because these guys are experts at in intraday trading and SPY and things like that. And if I could, master the swing trading and be helpful to somebody else and help somebody else in the same position that I'm in, where I can't really intraday trade every single day, it's good for everybody. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see you finding all these different strategies, because I know before you were scalping and day trading like a ton of tickers every day.
I was, and it's fun. I like doing it, but it's for me. It's a little. I can't get enough of my work done during the day and do that at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty time consuming. I guess on those days when you were doing sort of like the intraday scalping, do you want to like just walk through what your process was for finding those trades and entering?
Yeah, I mean, you could go to like I don't know, coin probably on any given day, and I'm sure there's some great entries. So let's see, what do we have? Is this today? When is this?
Oh, this is today.
So yeah, there you go. You got big
Result
puts
scalp.
right there. That's perfect scalp right there. Perfect scalp.
So you're mostly just looking at net option flow, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah. I mean, that's how. What were those? What was the net put purchase on that?
Net put flow was 2.6 million.
So that's a lot. Had you jumped, so right there, and I didn't play this today, but that would have been an immediate signal for me to buy puts and scalp puts on coin. So you can look at things like that on coin or at- I mean any ticker really, but that's the kind of stuff I look for. So that actually would have been an awesome. Oh,
Yeah, for sure. And then when you're scalping, how long are you normally like holding for?
so I would have rode that out probably. Actually, I would have exited on that the bottom of that red bar right there. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so like about a 10-minute.
Yeah, I would. That would have been good enough for me.
Yeah, because we didn't get any sort of like continuation of that bearish net option flow too. So
Right.
that would have been a great scalp. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing, Paul. Any other questions for Paul or for Reese or Zeta?
It says that, some of the net option flow hills don't work. Is there a way to avoid, like, how do we identify that?
I don't know, I can kind of share my input on that. Sorry, this is Zeta. Like one thing that I notice if you go to, sorry, I haven't really been trading like too much this week and last week just because I'm on vacation, but I think on June 20th, I know there's that one that kind of threw people off on SPY. And this is like I don't know, it's kind of hard because you have to, that last one's really big, so I don't know if you want to move past it
Oh,
to
yeah.
where it was. Um, sorry, I'm also a little sick, so apologize.
Oh, no worries.
But, yeah, so just right before that, like with those kind of that put going down and then the no that spiked up. I think it's hard because knowing like the time, like this is during OPEX, so everyone's kind of reshuffling their portfolios, all the big money. In fact, if you look at the daily of today, this is basically when they sold all their calls. I can't, and I tried to, for some reason in options flow, I can't pull up this day, but I reached out to Andy for that. But yeah, you can see it on the right. Basically, everyone's kind of, they're getting out of their calls, and that's why you see this big call down. But also that big put spike um, downward, it was like far out, and it was in December, and it looked more like some kind of like bearish spread. And we could see that it's hard. So if you do see a spike, I would recommend looking at it inside of option flow, and also kind of looking at what they're trying to do, I guess. Especially SPY and QQQ, because they're so see, like you can see all those dark blue. These are just, they're just selling basically. And you look at the date, it was June 21, and so that's when OPEC's, that's the witching day, they call it. But yeah, this is the day where everyone just kind of, usually they'll re-enter, but for some reason this day they were only, like, usually if they're still bullish, they'll exit out of 816, or sorry, they'll exit at June 21st, and then they'll push it towards August or September, if they're still bullish. But we didn't see a ton, at least I don't remember on, I guess that you see some on Friday, but on Thursday, like there wasn't a ton of people re-entering. It was just all kind of closing their, like a temporary closing, at least I assume closing their calls, because you just don't, I think with OPEX, like you have to assume that, like, if it's the week of, then they're usually closing their puts. Because I don't think big money would try to time a huge order like that just for a day, for a 1 day expiration. But I don't know. I don't know if that helps. I don't know if I'm rambling and I'm just on cold medicine.
Oh, that's okay.
And
And
but
then
yeah, it's. Oh,
first,
sorry.
oh yeah, I was gonna say, on the 21st, that's when you made your like huge like quad witching trade, right?
Yeah, so I did it overnight. So if you go back to the 20th, I noticed, like, we were going down. There was all these calls, options being sold, but they weren't rebuying. And so I saw that, and then I saw the dark pool. You kind of feel that resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought on that first recovery, that first hill. And then I did it again on the second to last candle when it went back up to that area. Yeah, and I just held, and I was kind of lucky, and then sold the next day. I don't know if I was lucky, but you could have, and then you could have also just waited like till next week. The next week it kind of continued to go down as well, I think. So it was like
So to be clear, this was
448.
a short position, right?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is a short. So I bought SPY puts for the next day, and I just held it overnight, then sold the next day.
So it looks like you bought it around 548, and then we opened around 544-ish.
And I waited a little bit till it went down. Once it had like this big kind of wick down, that's what I sold, was around that area. Around, I can't see the time on that, but
Oh yeah, I see net option flow switch from bearish to bullish here too. So probably right around.
yeah. Yeah, and I didn't want to mess around like just waiting the whole day. I just wanted to sell the first or close out my position the first 30 minutes.
Wow. Well, that's an awesome trade.
Yeah, I mean, we should watch for September. That's what I'm kind of preparing for as well. I know that's a ways away, but I'll remind everyone, and we can look at. I know it's kind of interesting that you can kind of look at the option flow and see what the big money is doing. Like if I could imagine, I don't know, I think someone pointed this out. They noticed on the daily, you can kind of see where, oh yeah, right there. So you see someone close out a ton of puts, and then that's when SPY started to go up. And then now they're closing a bunch of calls. And so I would imagine that we go down
Yeah.
from here, but I don't know. It depends on a lot of things, like the election and where the election's going, and a lot of like the Fed meetings. So we'll see.
Also, on 5 minutes, once we get a north uphill or a downhill or both, do we also look at the line? How do we interpret a line? Once you get it, like for example, you get like here you have a line and then it starts falling. So, like, is there a relation between the north line and the north?
Oh, this green line? Yeah, this green line is net option flow accumulation. So it's just the aggregate of all the net option flow throughout the day. So I like to look at this green line because you can see here it's like kind of trending up, then right around here it tops out. We get switched from bullish to bearish, and we do go down from there. So I like looking at the line myself.
And yeah, I do as well. And I think Reese can probably help with this. Like for me personally, I like to wait till like 10:30, 11 o'clock and see if it might be a range day or trending. And then you could kind of section it off and see like, oh, it's starting to go down. And we're at the top of the range or something like that. And then you kind of go from there. Because there's a lot of timing that tends to be the same. I don't know if that helps, but like on the very top of the hill, like what time is that? I can't see it.
Like 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Oh, okay,
While
yeah.
it is still
So like,
forming, it doesn't
so yeah,
look
like
like it topped.
we've kind of reached, but if you think about it, like lunch, that's lunchtime. So look at where 1 o'clock is, and you're watching it, and you're saying, well, is it trending down? So what's going to happen once? In my mind, like if you watch what happens with lunch, and then it kind of breaks down past that SMA 20 line, and then you can think, well, it's going to go, it's probably going to trend down to keep going to the bottom of the range, which it sort of did. It didn't go all the way, but I don't know. I don't know if that helps. That's kind of my thinking.
Yeah, that's super helpful. I like
think,
this opening range too, and waiting to see if we get like a breakout to the upside or the downside. Yeah.
and then also what helps me is comparing it to QQQ too. Like today, QQQ was like really dragging it down, and then it seemed like we were going to have a breakout with SPY, and then it just totally brought like QQQ was just kind of going down, and I thought like, oh, maybe we'll get a late day breakout, but because I was looking at like tech is brought down, so there's no way like that false kind of breakout towards the end or it was at 1 o'clock. The SPY, yeah, right there. I was like, oh wow, but then it just seemed too good to be true. I didn't play that. I wish I would have. I was in a work meeting, but
Yeah,
Sarah, can you open Tesla today?
pretty bearish today too.
oh yeah, and then
Green line going down.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Me or Sarah?
You. Sorry, I was working on getting my mic set up. This is Joe. I just started posting recently in Discord.
Oh, nice.
I had a quick question on that SPY day where you bought puts.
Yeah.
Are you doing at the money, deep in the money? What sort of time frame are you looking at? I was just wondering.
That one was just in the money.
Okay.
Maybe. So I think like it was at 448, and I picked like 446.
Okay.
But,
okay. So slightly out. Perfect.
Yeah, I guess that is slightly out for that one.
Are you doing like short term, like weeklies?
I was fairly confident. I don't know if I should have been that confident about it, but like looking back, it was kind of reckless. But yeah, that was one day because I was like, I'm just gonna go for it, and it worked out, I guess. But
no, I think that's great. I usually do common, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Joe, I really like common as well. And I feel like if you could afford to do common, it's kind of better than doing options because then you don't have to worry about the Greeks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on the day trading side, and I've already shared what I'm doing. If I'm going to day trade, I'm going to do it via options, right? I want to capture that IV expansion as fast as possible. That's where the money is.
Sarah, can you open Tesla today?
Tesla.
Yeah, when I day trade SPY, like I'll just buy like 20,000 shares, buy or sell 20,000 shares one way or the other. And I find that it usually performs better than 400 contracts, which would be the equivalent number of contracts, because you just get better, you get better spreads, better execution, better liquidity.
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with the Greeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to commons. That's why I was. I know options, but I'm just wondering how some of the veterans in here do it to capture those big moves.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
veterans, they all do options, but I think they're also kind of limited by account size as
Yeah.
well.
Well, we know you're not limited.
I don't know. Apparently you're richer than me.
Things have been good. Things have been good.
That's
Yeah,
not.
very interested in what you're adding to this tool. That was my biggest question coming in here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
love to
make some
understand that.
improvements to smart flow. I think that's the big one that's up next. Because
Can you talk at all about that? Like what specific enhancements? I know the feed that you were using as an individual was a lot different than when you have to get a commercial feed. So I'm wondering
Wow, you
what's
really
getting
did your
added in.
research.
I'm
Do we
I'm a
write
data
that?
scientist, man. Yeah,
Oh,
or
okay.
was. I was, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, well, I guess I can't get too much into the technicals because it's kind of proprietary, but basically, let's just say, if you could imagine, let's just say that the timestamps for the new feed, the one that we're currently using on BigShort, are not exactly correct. And we need to sort of massage the data to get more accurate timestamps, which we will. We have a clear plan on how to do it. And Andrew's actually moving in the middle of the move right now, but after he moves, then he's going to get right on that. And we're also going to launch Chart Game, I think, like within a couple weeks. The new Chart Game, if anybody cares.
Yay.
Yeah,
Support
it's
the chart game. Can't wait.
yeah, the new Chart Game. It's never going to crash or lag or anything like that, and it's going to
Dark
be.
mode too? Will it have dark mode finally?
I think so. I think
Oh,
so.
wow.
But the
Okay.
main thing is it's going to, the trades are going to happen through a WebSockets connection rather than through a REST API. So it's just going to feel smooth like butter.
Yay. I'm just happy for no crashing.
Yeah, yeah.
So are you on track for the new flow? I can't wait to see it.
What new flow?
The new features that you're rolling out, the new flow capability that you were just talking about.
Oh, the timestamp fixing thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Andrew can do it, get it done. I mean, software engineers, they'll tell you one thing and then it turns out differently. But I mean, I think if he really was motivated, it would be pretty easy for him to get it done within a couple weeks. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
I'm just interested to see what sort of flow capabilities you were using when you made your 10 million. That's what drew me to the tool.
Yeah, conceptually it's the same. And like if you can, like, it's what I used, it was kind of like NOF except for common. And in a perfect world, smart flow is kind of like NOF for common.
Yeah, it's agnostic, right? It's not option or common, it's the universe.
Well, smart flow is just for common, but everything gets hedged through common, including the options. So that's why it's kind of nice to have a quote unquote NOF for smart flow. I mean, for common, which is smart flow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done with the questions. Sorry if I hijacked. Thank
No,
you.
no, we want all the new people to talk.
Yeah, this is a Q&A session. So yeah, please, new people, if you have questions. I know there were a few people that reached out to me, wanting to join this. So don't be shy. Feel free to ask whatever you'd like. And Tay's in here too, so you can ask any sort of like big picture, big short concept questions too.
Yeah, where's Wilson? He needs my guidance.
Careful what you ask for.
Uh,
I will mention one thing, that the thing that continues to infatuate me with the day trading and the edge you have in your tool is when you can align the probabilities, you can put size on and you can make a lot of money very quick in a day, right? The key is just to have the probability stacked in your favor. And
Right.
typically my probabilities show up on the larger timeframes. And I'm extremely patient, so I don't mind the moves in between. So I'm super curious to see what this looks like when you have sort of this updated capability. Because I know for a fact that if you just put size on, you can make in a month in a few days. You can make in a few days what you typically would in a month with size. Now, the people with smaller accounts, that may not be the case, but they can compound pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, like we have people doing 100% returns left and right already just using NOF. I think before you joined, we were looking at some charts of trades that people did.
Yeah, I've already scoured the entire Discord channel for all the charts. So I'm trying to do my homework before I ask questions.
Anybody else? Wilson. You know, I wasn't.
I joined late. Sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I really wasn't trying to offend the guy. I was trying to help him because I think all these moving average MACD things, they're just the recipe for failure.
You
Like
did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I don't think moving averages have any sort of edge over just price, other than sort of kind of being like a lazy way of determining kind of the general direction of price. But I mean, I think moving averages, you lose some information and you don't really gain that much useful information. But
yeah, it's just a filter.
Yep. Yeah. It's looking at the past. Whereas looking at inventory, which is the concept behind BigShort, it's looking at like immediate needs for accumulation or liquidation. And yeah, so CJ, you're gonna ask something?
Yeah, I joined late, so I might have missed the examples of the charts you guys had done. So I was wondering for the net order flow, like what exactly does it show ahead of time? When does a bar form ahead of time when the move is going to go either up or down, or does it show as it's moving?
It shows
I'm not
ahead of time.
exactly too sure.
Let's load something up, Sarah.
Okay, sure. Any chart requests?
I was interested in the SPY one because you guys usually do walkthroughs for SPY.
Yeah.
Or QQQ.
Yeah, so NOF, like Tay was saying, is a leading indicator, meaning it sort of predicts where price is going to go, rather than showing exactly.
So like, Sarah, why don't you hover at the top of that price hill? No, the one to the left. Yeah, that one, right? So as you can see at that moment, and this chart, it's not rife with really good examples. Like, so for NOF, you really want something where the option flow just dwarfs what the previous historical option flow is. And today was kind of a tepid day as far as I can tell. Yeah, it looks like there's just like $20 million in either direction. But as you can see, they were selling the call options there right at the top of the hill, and that happened before it went down. Sarah, why don't you highlight the other call selling? Yeah. So, and then it goes down. And these are kind of bad examples because you probably want to look more into call buying and put buying rather than vice versa. Can you load up like another chart, Sarah, that might be more obvious?
Sure.
Because there's a lot of times. Yeah.
Oh, so I was just gonna say Tesla, like you could do like any day last week or probably this week.
There's also honey badger.
Tesla.
Okay.
Let's
Sure.
see, maybe
I mean,
the 3rd of Tesla, July 3rd, I think was when it started.
This is like a half day.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, the 2nd.
well, I mean,
Keep pushing it back.
that one looks pretty good too. The one we were at, the 3rd. Can you hover over the big call buying? Yeah. So the calls are bought and then it goes up.
Come on, go. What was she barking for?
Oh, Jay, you might want to mute.
JH, you want to mute yourself, please, if you're going to yell?
Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, so here we can see that calls are being bought and price goes up. And then here we see puts being bought and calls being sold.
Oh, okay. So if someone was day trading this on the 5 minute and they saw that bar form, that's when they would just use that NOF bar by
Yeah.
itself to confirm the trade.
Yeah, especially if it's very large relative to the market cap or normal trading volume.
And we get some good continuation of this bullish NOF as these bars are forming too.
How long is that move for? Like 15, 23,
Let's see,
30 minutes?
15, 20,
Looks like 45 minutes or so.
40 minutes or so.
As a professional day trader, would someone close at 5, or like when would they kind of close if they were trading this? If they didn't really know when it was going to either change direction.
Well, for me personally, I might get scared out by that little dip in the calls. Yeah, right there. That, me personally. And then and seeing those dark pools form at the top of the bars, that would kind of freak me out too. But I don't know. I don't really know how other people exit things.
Yeah, for me, my average holding time, like max, is like 20 minutes just because I get scared. So I probably would have gone in like here, seeing all this positive NOF, and then I probably would have exited like right around here.
And to use BigShort effectively, you really have to understand this concept of churn. And every single stock has a different rate of churn. So like what might take 20 minutes to play out on Tesla might take a shorter time to play out on SPY, or a longer time to play out in a low float stock. So when you trade a lot of tickers with BigShort, you kind of get used to how they move and the timing of things.
Yeah, it just looks really simple, but when I try to apply it, I don't know where I mess up on.
Okay, well, where'd you try to apply it? Let's look up a chart and let's see
I
how.
don't know, maybe I wasn't sure about I'm Cup of Joe on Discord in case someone knew. But I did just start like in March, like end of March, and I was just watching stuff. And I'm not sure the learning curve is there yet, but I've been attempting.
Yeah, is there a specific ticker that you were looking at that you'd like us to pull up?
Yeah, just Aspire QQQ. Kind of like the examples you guys usually use. So
SPY. Oh, this was the honey badger day. So that's different from normal days.
Yeah, so like the NOF, it's just one factor moving the price. So for that honey badger day, we had a lot of short covering in addition to whatever the options market is doing. But I mean, I think NOF still did like an okay job. It's just
Bullish
you know, like the bearish option flow, it did have a short-term effect, but it was just overwhelmed by the short covering.
Did you look at SPY for today?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, just like once. I only look at charts like maybe like once a week, so I don't really have like a concrete example.
Okay. No worries. Trying to think. So I think today was a good day on SPY. I know Reese, you were pretty successful trading this, right?
Yeah, it was great setup today.
Do you want to go over like where your entries were and what you were looking at?
Yeah, sure. I actually share the screenshot on Discord as well. So I made total, I think, 5 scalps.
Yeah, it looks like you were mostly buying puts, right?
Right. Today was kind of, yeah. So yeah, I think I enter around, give me a moment, let me pull up.
Yeah, she entered right there where I first mentioned it.
Right here.
Yeah.
Was it based off of the line going down from
I
neutral
just
to?
mostly, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just mostly focused on no. Today was really predictive, so I didn't really have to pay attention to other stuff. I think I mentioned this before as well, that I do not use any other indicator. I only just use BigShort. I don't use any other, chart, or I don't even use trading views that a lot of you guys use. And no, yeah, was really predictive. So I didn't really have to just look at other stuff.
So did you enter puts? You said you entered puts right around here.
That's correct.
And then was that your only entry, just right here?
No, I think she entered longs like kind of at that bottom there, after the puts. Yeah, somewhere around there she entered the
Right.
longs. Yeah. And then she entered some puts at the top of the next hill using Knopf Zoom. No, not that one, the other one. Well, at both of those. Yeah, she entered puts at the top of both of those. So like when using Knopf and all these kinds of things, you also have to have like a general concept of like whether it's a range day or a trend day and opening range and that kind of stuff. So I think she's incorporating that in because there was no opening range breakout in either direction. So we're looking at a pretty mean reverting sort of market on an intraday basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's looking very trendy.
You mean very rangy?
Or rangy, yeah. Looks like this.
So Reese, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Would you buy in the money or at the money for your scalps?
I always,
And how many days out?
yeah, I always buy at the money with put and calls. And usually I buy about 1 to 2 weeks out.
Oh, was there a reason why, like, not like 2 or even 1 day if it's a scalp?
Mostly I just close it at the same day, but just in case, the trade goes the other way. Yeah, I just wanted that protection. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, I think the one thing that I'm confused about scalping is how fast the candle moves, and I can't tell when to get in and when to get out. I get like a little frantic.
I think a lot of people, like, I'm still new, quite new. I haven't been trading for a long time, only about less than a year. But a lot of high-level traders said that they use BigShort as, the tools, like make sure, okay, when should I enter and when should I exit? I think they use it as a kind of like added, benefit to them.
Yeah, like adding to
Okay.
their,
But
like,
you said you only, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was just saying it like they just use it to sort of confirm their existing trading strategies.
Oh, okay. And the research you just uses BigShort strictly?
Yes.
Oh.
I think before you kind of asked the question, you asked what my win rate is, right? So my
Yeah,
think
it's
Papa
just like,
asked that.
yeah. So why do I ask that question is like I want to slice my like let's say I have a buying power of let's say $2,000. So considering that 1 or 2 signals fail, I want to make sure I take all the good signals and still take those bad signals as well, but then just trying to make sure that I overall win and then manage the risk as well as have a tight SL.
Right. Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to, answer any questions, here instead of just, answering on the Discord. So my
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah, my win rate on average is about 70%. So for instance, for the month of May, it was 100%. And June, 70% win rate. So my win rate is quite high. I'm satisfied with that. But I'm working on managing my drawdowns better. I think I mentioned this before too, so I'm still working on it. So yeah.
So, let's say there's a, north uphill or a downhill, whatever like the entry matches. So is there a set stop loss you look at, like, you take it like -20, -25 on, like, considering you're like almost 1 week away?
So I don't use stop loss, just mental stop. I think Sarah kind of made a post blog about that as well. I just try not to exceed my loss. My drawdown goes over 1,000 currently. So sometimes I'm on a tilt. I'm a human being, so that happens. But yeah, I just try to control myself, be more disciplined in that regard.
Okay. Yeah. One more question to you, Reese. Like, I'm just trying to interpret the line along with the hill. So is there a relation? Because so if we see there, while the north line was all the way going down, but then we still had opportunities on the way up. So is there, like, when you enter, you look for a confluence between the line and the hill?
Popeye, the line is always going to be the summation of the hills. That's just inherently that's just the math.
Okay.
So like if the hill is like 5 + 2 + -2, then the line is going to be 5.
Positive. Oh, it doesn't tell you the overall trend.
It just the green line just adds up the hills. It's a purely addition arithmetic operation.
Okay.
Yeah, just like this, green line is the aggregation of net option flow. This white line is the aggregation.
Zeta's leaving. Bye, Zeta.
All by Zeta. And the lines are the aggregation of the individual smart flow bars. But yeah, and any other questions for Reese or for Political Nightmare while we have them here?
No questions. Everyone knows how to use the software.
I don't. I'll keep asking questions. I've been on here for a while. Tay, so you said you use manipulation. I've been like racking my brain going through charts. I see some correlations, but how exactly do you use it? Like, let's take TSM today as an example. It was a huge negative manipulation. How would you have played that?
Well, it's pre-market. It's pre-market, so I like the pre-market stuff, and I mean, it bounced a bit after the pre-market manipulation spike, but yeah, I mean, I like I've said before, I use manipulation when the market is moving fast, and that's like during FOMCs and earnings and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so day to day, it's not something you really look at if you were just day trading, right?
No. I mean, like if I see a bunch of bars in the same direction, like in a row, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars in a row, then yeah, I'll definitely take notice.
Okay.
But for example, like during FOMC, during that first humongous reaction bar, manipulation might be the only indicator I look at for that. So, because like I don't even look at NOF for that bar. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a different tool for a different situation.
Got it.
More of like the fast nosebleed situations where I'm looking at manipulation.
Yeah.
So you're like, what are the time frames you're trading it with? Like 5 to 10 minutes?
Or even less than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes might be like a post earnings movement. That sounds about right. But if it's FOMC, then it could be like it could move like a percentage point, like a full percent in like seconds.
Right.
So yeah, sometimes I'm in and out in seconds.
Okay. All right. Well, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just pulled up an example of that post earnings manipulation.
Oh
Just
yeah.
take a look. So this was right when the earnings came out, and then this was bullish manipulation.
Yeah. So for manipulation, you really want to try to get in the market makers' heads and figure out like what are they trying to do during the time where everything's going haywire and they're not sure of what's going on. And so that's why these really big reaction bars are times when manipulation is much more predictive. But for those of you who are watching this and are just new to Big Short, don't try to trade manipulation as your first rodeo. Just use NOF, because apparently Political Nightmare he's not even here right now.
Oh, where'd he go?
Yeah, anyways, but apparently Political Nightmare, all he does every day is he just clicks on the option flow and then looks at the options and then just decides which stocks to trade that day, and he makes money that way.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So I would invite you to do what he does. And meanwhile, Reese just trades SPY all day long, based on NOF. But
I'll
I think
trade SPY one day.
what's that?
I'll trade SPY one day. One day I'll trade SPY.
Wait, is PN Political Nightmare?
Yeah, sorry. I had to jump on my phone. I'm here.
Yay!
Yeah.
I've been with you this whole time.
It's funny, like in the Discord, everyone and the grandmas got all these questions, but when we host the Zoom meetings,
I know people
I
get
don't see any of
shy.
those people. Those question askers / haters.
Hey man, I'm on every one of these and I ask a lot of questions.
Right. I see a lot of same faces, but what I'm saying is like these new people come in and they ask all these questions, but they don't even bother to join the Zoom meeting where we're here to answer the questions.
Yeah, where's Wilson?
Yeah, I pinged Wilson. He said he's at work right now.
Okay.
I think he needs one of your sales pitches, Tay.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want to put it this way because I know he'll take offense, but honestly, I really just have empathy for people who are stuck using moving averages and MACD, because everyone who starts out trading, they think, okay, I mean, like everyone's got this on their chart, so there must be some value there, but there really isn't. It's just a complete scam. And yeah, I mean, the sooner that people realize that those things are scams, the sooner they'll stop losing money.
I agree with that, with the MACD specifically, and with the moving averages. I don't ever use those on my trading platform. The only ones I still do use, I do like the RSI and the stochastic oscillator and some Fibonacci. But yeah, for moving averages, man, that's just that's a mess. And I think it's counterproductive. Yeah. Also.
Yeah.
I hate to disagree. I hate to disagree with both of you, but I have made millions using that. The key is knowing which stock you actually want to be in and aligning with patterns. The moving averages they just show you market structure. But if you identify the pattern, you will make millions. I can assure you.
I'd love to read your master thesis on this. I really would.
I mean, if you
99% of the biggest moving stocks in history are above a 200-day and a 50-day. That math will never lie to you. And you don't trade off of moving averages, but it's a filter. It tells you what to be in and what not to be in, what's trending and what isn't. Well, the problem is most people don't know how to read moving averages to determine if they're flat or they're curling up and if they're showing a trend. So everybody dismisses them. And I'm not here to disagree with everyone, but I can tell you that if you use them properly, you will make a freaking killing. You absolutely will.
You're talking about like a 50, 100, 200 simple moving average, right? You're not talking about a 9 EMA, 21 EMA, 30.
Oh no, I don't do that crap. Yeah, it's just to give you market structure, but you have to be in the right stocks. You have to be in things that move.
I can
You
agree
have
with that. Simple moving averages with just a basic 100, 250, whatever. But I think we're talking more about people with 30 different EMAs on
I saw his charts and it scared the daylights out of me. I will be the first one to admit. But I just want to make sure that other people know you have to filter. You have to be in stocks that have a reason to move. And that's like 90% of winning. If you find the reason, everything else is going to line up.
I mean, like, I'm a believer in momentum, which is that when it goes high, then the price goes higher. And in that sense, yeah, like if you have the caveat of choosing a stock that's already trending, then yeah, I mean, like, moving average is one way to basically say that a stock is going up. But I mean, like,
yeah, you're the last person in the world I want to disagree with, but I got to tell you, I've done very well by leveraging patterns are 90% of it, but the market structure that comes out of looking at moving averages tell you if it's going up or going down, and then how they curl tells you the story, because it just shows buying. And again, that's for swing trading. For day trading, I never could get an edge out of that, and I don't think moving averages are going to help you with that.
So
You have
like-
to know the bigger trend.
Would that moving average for swing trading, would that moving average provide additional data that the price itself would not provide?
No, I just use it as a filter. I literally won't look at anything if I'm going long that is not above a 50-day and a 200-day. That it's just a filter. Everything else is a pattern. Okay. Like the Chewy trade that I used, that I used as an example, that was 49% in 5 days. That came out of volume, right? There was a volume spike that was 4 times the 20-day average, right? That's buying. It just shows up. You can't deny that.
And how do you select for these stocks that are trending other than the moving average?
I wrote my own code to filter it.
Okay.
I wrote my own stuff. Yeah, I'm looking for some momentum. I'm looking for relative strength in the form of the basket of stocks and how it's performing relative to those. And then just a simple pattern like a pennant or a base. And when it breaks above those things on high volume, you're crazy not to get in.
Yeah. I mean, when you know a stock is breaking out or trending up or something, then just moving averages.
I didn't want to disagree with you guys, and this is getting recorded, but at the end of the day,
it's fine. I like the disagreement, and I don't know. It almost sounds like a semantic disagreement between us, you know, like,
yeah, I mean, the way that he was using it, right, especially on a lower time frame, that's insane to me. And I think MACD is a joke, by the way. I've never used RSI or MACD. If you look at people like Mark Minervini and Dan Zanger, who turned 10,000 into over $100 million, and they're audited, they used moving averages just for filters. It's just for market structure. Everything else is patience and timing. It's the same thing that you did, Tay, right? It's waiting, it's looking for things that move and then getting in when they start moving. And that's all I do.
Okay. Yeah. As a filter for market structure, sure, I will accept it that it can be a nice, simple lift.
Watch my subscription get canceled tomorrow, and then I get knocked out of Discord. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so direct.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm very direct guy, and you know, we have moving averages on BigShort. We have the EMA 20 right there in the middle of the Bollinger Band. So
exactly.
We at BigShort, we love moving averages and lagging indicators.
In my defense, I use patterns and price action, and that's when I get in. I do not use the moving averages. That's just for market structure. So I trade just like you trade. I am looking at the action, but I am very specific about which stocks I get in and why.
Yeah. And you have all these other criteria too, right? Because if it was just being average, like, and I think that's what I've always been saying in the Discord, is that like there's no back testable strategy that wins purely with using moving average as an input. But you've got, this whole thing where you're comparing it to the basket and everything, and you've got all your code going on. So I believe you. I believe you've been very successful with that.
Well, I mean, I got almost 5% on HPE today, and I called it out right at the open. And I got what, 8.5% move on CRM right at the open. I'm doing the same things. I'm just using the higher time frame.
Good, good. Yeah, well, we're glad to have you. And for those of you watching this later on, the issue with using only moving averages is that eventually the trend is going to change, and knowing when that trend is going to change is critical to protecting your profits and choosing your entries and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just wondering, does anybody have an example of them like just day trading, like not day trading, just scalping using 0 DTEs with NOF, or most people just use it on the 3-day or the 3 DTE or 3-week DTE like Reese?
So even when I'm scalping, I still buy like 3 DTE just because I don't really like 0 DTEs. They're just a little too crazy for me. But yeah. Yeah, anyone else? Anyone here trade 0 DTEs?
Where's Hosu?
I know, Jose used to.
I mean, I've traded them before when I feel really degenerate, but I don't know. I like common shares.
Oh, so it's not recommended to do 0 DTE.
If
I
only.
mean, they're super risky. So but then I guess if you're poor and you want to win the lottery, then they're good. It's just a matter of like, how lopsided do you want the risk reward ratio to be?
Oh, okay. So I thought that it was like a pretty high confirmation, so that even like 0 DTEs would be fine. But I'm hearing that like it's better to do 3 or 3 weeks out, right?
I mean, there's different types of risk management. Like some people will manage risk by buying less volatile contracts or contracts with less theta to burn, things like that. But other people might manage risk by smaller position sizes. So for example, like if you have a 100K account and you buy just $1,000 worth of 0 DTEs, then that's another form of risk management. So there's different ways that you could play it.
Lunar Soda says 0 DTE is like hot potato. If you're going to use it, you need to get in and out ASAP or choose your position size for it, assuming you can lose 100% of what you paid for.
If you look at the theta decay ratio on 0 DTEs after 12 o'clock, they basically cut in half. So any money you made just gets wiped out. You're better off getting longer dated so you don't have to deal with theta decay on 0 DTEs. They're best in the morning if you've got to move, but after 12, forget it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions? Questions for Tay?
I have a question. It could be for anybody, really. Hello?
Yep.
Hi.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just looking at, getting signals for swing trading. I think I was a little bit late signing in, but I think I heard a little bit of, I think it was Paul talking about a little bit like looking at 5-minute charts from the day, like a day before, and seeing a spike in the option flow or something, and then taking a position. I just haven't heard much about it. Or is there many people using this much for swing trading? To just for a few days at a time.
I don't really think anybody but me is doing this, and I'm not sure why, but at least I don't think anybody else is doing this. Is anybody else doing this?
Doing what?
Using up for swing trading.
Scanning the daily for swings.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've given a lot of walkthroughs to people who use Big Short for swing trading. They just tend not to be like the most active here on the Discord, but people absolutely do use it. Use Big Short for swing trading.
So political nightmare, why don't you walk us through your process for, selecting your swing trades on the daily? I'm kind of curious too, because I don't even do that.
Sure.
Any other
So
examples?
I always go back, like D-Dog is my favorite example. I know I've said this many times, but this was, I made so much money off of this. Um, I don't know if we can check out the chart.
Is it that fat purple hill right there?
Yeah, so that happened like about an hour before close, and I caught that just in time, and that wasn't even earnings. And sorry,
But like,
my
how
Zoom.
do you know which charts to like look at on the daily?
Well, like literally, and I've memorized almost all the tickers that I want to know on the S&P 500. So I'm literally just keying in ticker by ticker by ticker by ticker and going through my watch list on my trading platform,
Okay.
and just
Which
scrolling
is
through
the
it
brute
towards
force method.
the what? The brute
Is
force
it-
method. Yes, it
Yeah, yeah.
is. Yeah, exactly. What day was this? This is
It's
on the
not,
daily. This might
yeah.
not be it. Sorry, I'm on my phone, so I can't really see exactly what you're looking at. Hold on, let me get on my laptop. So this was on the 30th of May. Yeah, exactly right there. So if you were to look at the 5-minute chart on that day, May 30th, right? This was like maybe an hour before close or something like that. And I can't remember what the put premium was. But it was pretty obvious. It was a pretty obvious move. I mean, you can see um the shit, what's the green line called? The tally for the NOFA?
NOFA.
NOFA.
You call the green line NOFA? I thought the whole thing was called NOFA. So
No, the hills are called NOF.
okay. The
Yeah.
accumulation line, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can see it just tanks after that, right? So I bought there, and then the next day I made a lot of money. So just in a nutshell, that's how I scan for a lot of things on the daily chart.
Okay, so it's not something you find in like the top 10 lists or through the option flow page or anything like that. Just brute
It's
force the symbols.
Well, yeah, what do I
exactly.
need? Your scan list?
I mean, it's really just everything on the S&P 500 plus a few additional things that I like maybe like DraftKings or Caesars or the casino stocks or I
Right.
don't know if Coin or Master or anything like that is. I don't think those are on the S&P 500. Coin's not on the S&P 500. Is it?
Yeah, I noticed you trade a lot of stocks that have a lot of eyeballs on them, and I've always been of the opinion that Big Short works best for stocks where there's a lot of retail participation.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, look at like you could go to Zebra. I would have bought Common on this. I would have never bought options because the options were lousy for this. But like Snap-on and Zebra, like ZBRA, you could go on the daily chart there, and I can't remember what I saw. Let me go but I called the move from. Oh yeah, that's when they first started selling all those puts. So that was, how big of a move was that? But that took about 2 weeks to play out, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, exactly 2 weeks, right? So I wanted to buy as soon as I saw those massive put sales. And from the second day that had happened, it moved open. It's 296 to, yeah, it was like a $20 move in 2 weeks.
So these put sales on June 17th and June 20th.
Yeah, I thought and and then I there's obviously a lot of buying the next days. But it's things like that I look for, right? And it's even Zebra is not the best example. I had spent a lot of time looking at Zebra. Let's see what's like another good example.
So you
I'm
haven't seen any way to filter out stuff with the Big Short for like looking at opportunities like that?
Not yet.
Like Tesla, didn't Tesla have a lot of orders like, in recently?
Tesla today had a net 326 million net call premium.
Tesla's been on a tear.
I know. I'm too scared to play Tesla right now, though. I mean,
official
it looks like
I'm in common for Tesla. I've made a
Are
pretty
you? Nice. That's awesome.
Sarah, you should just have George liquidate everything and just put it all in Tesla.
That's a pretty good. I'll post it in the profits channel later.
It looks like it's never gonna end.
Any other daily tickers you want to take a look at?
Let me
Can I just say something for the recording, which is that other stock charts, they only show price and volume. And price and volume can be manipulated. It could be completely faked. So, and then all the other indicators are based off price and volume. Whereas the Big Short charts, they differ in that they show buying and selling. And buying and selling is a lot harder to fake than price and volume. Just want to stick that in there somewhere in the recording. I didn't know when a good time would be.
Good job.
Yeah, I want to point out one more thing, and that's it. And that's on like the snap-on chart I was just talking, or yeah, SNA. And so today, actually, there's a big, and I need to see what this is exactly, but there's pretty big put sales today. So I'm just curious to see what happens in the next few days with Snap-on. The manipulation seems pretty neutral at this point. It's really nice to have the double confirmation with the manipulation and the large option activity. But in this case, it's not there. It's just kind of a neutral manipulation for the past. I mean, it's bearish a little bit, but it's not massive. So I don't know. Let's see what happens in the next couple of days with SNA. I'd be looking for some more signals to go along, maybe.
Quick question from Political Nightmare.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see on Datadog, did you see the signal on the daily first or on the 5-minute that where it that big obvious signal?
So that, God, I can't remember. That's a really good question. It could have been either.
Does a daily update like
it does in real time, just as it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it
doesn't
does.
matter then. It'll show up either way. All right, thanks.
Let's see. What else? Nike's going to be a good one to look out for too. There's a lot of put sales now that it's dropped so low on Nike. If you look at the daily chart, that's something to just watch for a little
I
while.
like this one. I like how the put selling led to some strength and then the put buying led to some weakness.
So, you know, soon enough, this will reverse as well, I think, but it's something to keep an eye on. I mean, that's still, as on the daily, the NOFA is still, you know, well, right now it's right in the dead center in the middle, but I wouldn't enter yet on this. There's still a lot of selling, but you can see a lot of puts are being sold too. So I would suspect in the next week or week and a half, 2 weeks, this would start curling up maybe, but I'm just going to keep my eye on it. But
Hey, Ty.
Yep.
So but the new smart flow is going to be more readable.
I mean, it's going to look the exact same. It's just going to be a little bit more accurate.
Okay. So I mean,
Yeah, I don't even know how much more accurate it'll be, but I'm very curious to see. We'll run it side by side for a while just to see what the difference is.
Oh, I just want to say one more thing. For the McDonald's MCD chart on the daily, this is the double confirmation that I like to look for. This is actually a triple confirmation right here. So I made a lot of money yesterday from the big put sale combined with the buying, combined with the bullish manipulation on that one.
Oh, that's nice. That is a really nice triple confirmation.
So it's like if you could get a double confirmation with the options and the manipulation, that's awesome. But if you can get the buying in there too, that's really good.
For those of you watching, I really like to look at these shadow bars on the smart flow more so than the actual colored bars.
You want to explain why, Craig?
Just empirically, the shadow bars tend to be very wrong. They tend to point up at tops and they tend to point down at bottoms.
And the shadow bar is Momo.
The shadow bar represents discretionary traders, big and small.
so you trade a shadow down, then you go long, shadow up, you go short.
Yep. But again, it's, you know, pretty far down my list in terms of indicators. It's just one extra thing to kind of look for. And yeah, I don't trade the daily, so I'm referring to the 5-minute chart, but I don't see why it would be any different on longer time frames.
So on that McDonald chart, then I guess was Political Nightmare bought calls like at the end of day when we had that signal.
Correct. So I saw that. What was that? July 3rd.
And that, you saw it on the daily chart where it was almost updated to that amount.
Well, so hold on. Let me get to the 5-minute real quick. What was that? July 3rd?
Yeah, I have it pulled up too.
So again, I have a massive watch list that I just, if I get bored at the house in the evening, I'll just scroll through. And I know, you know, some people don't like whatever. Everybody has their own thing. If you don't like an indicator, that's fine. But like I use several in combination, and one of them is RSI, and you know, it's not always 100% accurate. It just kind of tells you. It's just a tiny bit of information, but and then combined with the KDJ, and then combined with the stochastic oscillator, looking at like the daily and the weekly chart, I can see kind of what's thought to be overbought or under or oversold, right? And kind of see where I think a reversal might happen, and then maybe I'll lay out like, I don't know, a Fibonacci chart or something just for fun, and then I'll look, you know, I'll see those in the evening, and then you know, I'll look daily at these ones. So so then I make a secondary watch list, like things that I'm curious about, right? Things that I want to kind of watch every single day on BigShort. So McDonald's was one of them because I thought it looked to me on my trading platform on the daily and weekly that you know, it was due for a bounce, and then I confirmed it on BigShort, and I bought calls and I made money.
Guys, I have to get to a doctor's appointment, so I could take one last question if anyone has a question. Otherwise, I'm out of here. No
Thanks,
question.
Tay. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for being so transparent and open, Tay. Really appreciate that.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
rare. Very rare.
Thank you, Joe.
This was fun. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it too. So
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do this like, you know, every 2 weeks or so if Political Nightmare, Reese and Zeta are down to join. But thanks so much for everyone's questions and for answering questions. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
Joe should attend from now on as well.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
I got questions for you, Joe.
I did want to say that Sarah is probably the most patient and kind person I've ever met. So thank you. You're phenomenal.
Sarah's amazing. She's great.
He is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, just want to help everyone, be successful and see the value in Big Short, because I know there's a lot of snake oil out there and it's
Yeah.
hard to tell the difference on first glance, but
And
really
I got questions for you too, Joe. So don't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to get in the way of the Big Short stuff. So I'm trying to just be quiet. I'm a swing trader, and a lot of the people here are going to be day trading. So I'm looking to come into day trading. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking to do the opposite. So I kind of want to pick your brain about some of the swing trading stuff. But Big Short's
you
awesome.
Got it.
It's been so awesome.
Yeah.
I've been in it for about maybe a month and a half, and I've learned so much in that short time frame. So it's been great.
I mean, I literally spent 4 years day trading when I was first starting out, and I've looked at pretty much every tool that you can imagine.
Yeah.
Bookmap, all the flow tools that are out there, everything. I've read more books than I think I can imagine. I have never seen an edge like this, and you have to have an edge to day trade.
Yeah,
you have to have an edge to trade to make money. Period.
Yeah, it's so good. It's genius overlaying the charts with option flow. It's amazing. It's incredible. I love it. So.
Okay, well, thanks so much, guys, and we'll catch you tomorrow in the Discord.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.